Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. This video is another edition of our Prospect Breakdown series, and today we are discussing a player who's widely seen as one of, if not the top receivers in the NFL draft class this year, and that is the receiver coming out of LSU, opt out of 2020, but still great college career, won a national championship on that LSU team in 2019, JaMarr Chase.
Yeah, JaMarr Chase, like you said, is a guy that most people have towards the top of their boards in general. Just talking about big boards, but as wide receivers as well. A lot of people are big fans of him, including myself. He is my number one receiver so far, still receivers to watch as we continue on with this process. But a lot that went into it was obviously watching him last year because there's no film on him this year. But just seeing how dominant he was next to guys like Justin Jefferson and Terrace Marshall, another prospect for this year, is a big thing to look at when you're comparing them. Now that we've seen what Jefferson's been able to do in the NFL, a lot of that I like to look at side by side and you go, Jefferson's a star. What can JaMarr Chase be? Because they were just about equal in talent last year at different spots. Jefferson playing more of a slot, as we clarified in another video, I think, and JaMarr Chase being more of the outside receiver going up for those passes. So I really like JaMarr Chase. I have the questions with the opt out, as I always do. I think it's a concern that has to be looked at, but for me, he's my number one receiver, but it is somewhat close.
Yeah, for me, I have him a little lower, and this is going to be a surprise. I have him as my number three receiver, and this isn't so much that I don't like him. I like him as a player. I think he'll go in the top half of the first round. I think he's very talented. I think he's NFL ready. There's just a couple other guys that I think are better than him. I have Rashad Bateman at one and Devontae Smith at two in my receiver rankings for this year. But JaMarr Chase, still a very good player. I think just I was just a little disappointed watching film on him. I just expected more, and I think part of that could have just been, seeing him at the time when the Dolphins had the pick, he was always at that, number three pick a lot in mock drafts. And, when you see that, a player always mocked at three, you might have those really high expectations. And, I just didn't see that type of value from JaMarr Chase. I mean, he's very good, just reading through my notes real quick. Something that I noticed very quickly, actually, I'm glad I wrote it here at the top. He catches the back shoulder throws really well, really good at, putting himself in good positions to haul those passes in. The athleticism is good. You see him, you look at him, you think he's kind of a more like a bigger guy, bigger frame, not like bigger guy, but bigger frame guy. A guy is going to more maybe try and go win more of those jump balls, but he can move around. He's kind of got that DK Metcalf speed or frame, but he also has the speed of some faster guys like Stephon Diggs, maybe. So with him, those are some pros. I'll get to cons later, but yeah, he's made my number three ranked receiver, so I wouldn't quite take him in the top five. Sorry, Bengals fans, but I wouldn't quite do that, but still a talented player that'll go in the top half of the first round.
Jordan, you got the stats for him last year. You want to read those off for us? Yeah. Well, sorry. Very tired right now. 84 receptions, 1,780 yards, 20 touchdowns last year with 2 years ago.
Yeah, with the championship team.
You could at least pretend like you're excited over there.
Yeah.
All right, that's good enough. You gave a little half smile, I guess. But yeah, for me, I mean, we have different opinions on JaMarr Chase. We both think he's very talented and a first-round player. Ryan and I, that is. Jordan has not said much due to him lack of film watching and him being tired right now. But to me, JaMarr Chase, like I said, I do think it's close with these two other guys, or other guys, I should say.
Yeah,
I haven't watched Bateman yet. I have Smith as my second ranked one. The reason I don't have Smith is just because I don't know if the college, there's those college receivers that don't translate to those NFL receivers. That worries me with Devontae Smith just because the size thing, and I don't know, it just screams college football star, but not translating to the NFL to me for some reason. And it's not for some reason. I have my cons about him. It's upstairs, so I can't really, in my notebook, I could go into specifics, but we're not talking about Devontae Smith. But with JaMarr Chase, Ryan, you said vertical, able to go out and catch any ball thrown his way. He works the sideline well. He's able to turn around quickly. It's tough. That's a lot more difficult for guys like his size. You said he looks big, but he plays like a Justin Jefferson, although he is a JaMarr Chase. So I think that's a good comparison, like I've said before. Watching those two on the field together last year was a huge thing for me where I went, wow, JaMarr Chase is better than Justin Jefferson was last year from what I saw. So I said, you're my number one receiver. Not just because of that, but it was a factor.
No, yeah, you've got some good points, and I think something else. Like I said, it's not so much me being anti JaMarr Chase. I was just really blown away by Rashad Bateman, and I liked what I saw from Devontae Smith. I do get the concerns with him, but I think that those two, I think they're both really good. I'm very high on Rashad Bateman. I like Devontae Smith. He literally won the Heisman. So again, this is a very deep wide receiver class. So being the number 3 receiver in a class like this still means you're a heck of a football player and a first round talent, no doubt. I just think that with Chase, the route running isn't as pretty as it is with some of those other guys, especially Bateman.
It's not as
yeah.
cut and go.
It's not. Yeah, it's just kind of like.
But
it
gets around.
Yeah, it works.
I was saying he's good at turning around, but he's not good at cutting.
Yeah, as far as pure route running,
planting his foot.
Yeah,
and
as far
turning.
as pure route running, I don't think that's a strength of his, and that's something I saw in guys like Rashad Bateman, which is why I have Bateman ahead. And
it's a lot more.
Yeah, I wrote here like doesn't always run the most crisp routes. I don't know why, this is kind of random, but I noticed the curl routes were a problem for him. I don't know why. Not only running them, but also catching the ball with them. The defenders seem to always be able to get in there and break up the pass. Again, kind of random, but just something I noticed. It doesn't mean it's always his fault. And also, not as much experience with the jump ball as you would like. I feel like you see with, Devontae Smith, Rashad Bateman, even some other guys like in this class. You see them, make that acrobatic catch, get like a foot in the air.
That could be because Joe Burrow was just so good last year.
I know.
They
but
didn't have to throw any jump balls up to
JaMarr Chase. But the Minnesota offense was very good in 2019 when Bateman played, and he did play in 2020. And Devontae Smith's surrounded by talent. He's got a first-round player, throwing to him as well. So I think that with JaMarr Chase,
Mac Jones throws a lot more jump balls.
No, I know. I get part of it's that, but I feel like just the catch radius isn't as big with JaMarr Chase as some of the other guys. I feel like that's a con because, Bateman and Smith, in my opinion, have proven their ability to, make the acrobatic catches. And,
I don't know. Yeah. I thought whenever I watched him, I mean, maybe there is a lack of throws where he has to go up and do that, but when he does, I feel like a lot of times he was able to make those plays. When I watch film, I literally go, ooh, or wow.
I do something. I did it a lot.
And it's like, oh, shoot. Like with Devontae Smith, I was constantly doing that.
Yeah.
But I didn't find myself doing it very much with JaMarr Chase because I feel like it's just more of a sound skill type of guy rather than a flashy go up and get it kind of guy like Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Which is the aspects of it which I get worried about translating.
Yeah, I just don't think he could, it's just all it is he just doesn't quite jump aside. He just doesn't quite have the acrobatic catchability and the catch radius as some other guys in the class. That's really it. I don't have much else against him. Just sometimes with receivers, especially, you just watch a guy, and I feel like receivers is a position where it's very easy to just watch a guy and just fall in love with the guy. That's what happened with me and Bateman. I did not expect him to be my number one receiver going into this process, but he just blew me away. I expected it to probably honestly be JaMarr Chase or Devontae Smith, but again, JaMarr Chase just a player with a lot of talent. Just two other guys in this class, in my opinion, are better. But JaMarr Chase, I mean, he should still go in the top half of the first round, in my opinion.
JaMarr Chase size 6 foot, so not very tall, 208 pounds. So that's also pleads to your concerns. Or adds to. How tall is Devontae Smith? I'm look that up.
I mean, I just get them from the Alabama website.
6'1".
6'1", 175. That's from the Alabama website. I always go on the website of the schools to get these, so it might not be the latest combine or pro day measurement. But yeah, I mean, it's not so. Again, what I always say, I don't scout the measurables. I scout the tape. And when
you're definitely right.
Yeah, and when it's like a lot of these guys are like 6'1", 6'0", 5'11". Like that's not a big deal. I don't care. Just show me on the field. Show me in the game. I don't care, how tall you are if you don't, play good. Like I say it about Devontae Smith. He makes up for his lack of size with his grittiness, his, consistency, and just the general way he plays the game the right way. Like that's what I'm worried about if I'm a GM. JaMarr Chase, he's got that kind of DK Metcalf, AJ Brown type frame, but I just think that there's other receivers in this class that are just better at moving around, getting open, and making the acrobatic catch. That's really it for me.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if you look at it and say let's say JaMarr Chase plays this year, you're not going to tell me he's winning the Heisman over Devontae Smith, and that's just not saying whoever wins the Heisman is going to be the best player, especially at a receiver position where we've seen plenty of college players be the best receiver. I saw a graphic today that was talking about the best receivers of each college season, and the only one we really know in the NFL is Amari Cooper. I was on there. There's a lot of those guys. I'm not saying Devontae Smith could be one of them because, the season that we saw last year was a Heisman season, and we saw it 2 years ago, even when he was playing good, just didn't get as much playing time. But it just concerns me with the receivers' translation to the NFL, as I've said. Now, I think Smith is going to be fine, but it just seems a lot safer to me with JaMarr Chase, other than the fact that he didn't play last year, which is a huge concern to me because a lot of the times, let's say we're making a mock draft for next year, and we're talking about the guys that played this year.
Yeah.
And half those guys aren't even going to end up going in the first round. So it's like, are these guys going to be one of those people? Who knows? I think that could be why a guy like Micah Parsons is starting to drop in mock draft as well. That's a different topic, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the bottom line is we all think highly of him. I just have him a little lower in my rankings, and, you know, I don't quite think he should go top 5. If you're the Bengals, I know it's tempting to reunite him with Burrow, but I just think there's, you know, if you want a receiver, I'd try trading down a little bit, or you could obviously take Penei Sewell if he's there. But, I mean, I wouldn't, like, hate it. It wouldn't be like, oh, my gosh, what a terrible pick. It's just not what I would do. If JaMarr Chase goes to the Bengals at 5, I think that's the highest possibly he could go. I don't see him going in the top 4. So, I mean, let's just talk about real quick before we wrap this up, like possible destinations. Obviously, there's the Bengals, the Dolphins. I mean, what else?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think any of these receivers are
Lions.
Lions.
Like top 8 category, I feel like. So, I mean, the Lions would be a good one also, but I don't know. Like, I just don't get the fit overall. Like, if you're gonna get a receiver and you want a receiver, you're targeting one, like it makes sense. But I wouldn't say that the best player available, like a top 5 or top 8 player in the draft. So I would say, obviously the Bengals are out there, like you said, the Dolphins. Jordan, who'd you say again?
Lions.
The Lions.
Yeah. Maybe if he fell to the Giants.
The Giants are out there as well. Those are just receiver needy teams. The Eagles are also another one.
Yep.
That could be using him, but it feels like, at least according to these mock drafts, we're seeing maybe more people are like Ryan and like guys like Rashad Bateman and Devontae Smith more. But it seems like he's going to go in that top 8. Either to the Dolphins or the Bengals is the most likely 2 right now. But who knows? Maybe he falls past then, and then the team shock the world. But I would feel pretty confident drafting JaMarr Chase after pick 8 or even before it if you really needed a wide receiver. So that's just my thoughts on JaMarr Chase and the other receivers.
All right. I mean, you got any more thoughts, Jordan? Or
No.
where would you take? I mean, Tyler says like top 8. I say top 5 is too high. So like, where is your range for where you think or where you think he should be taken?
I mean, before you go, I wouldn't like say, oh, why would you take him in the top 8?
Well,
if
yeah,
you
that's
had to take a receiver.
Yeah,
but I just don't think that they're one of the 8 best players in the draft.
Yeah, I like I said, like if the Bengals take him at 5, I get it. Just not what I would do, and I just don't think he's quite like that level where he should be going top 5. But again, I wouldn't be mad if I was a Bengals fan about it. So
go ahead, Jordan.
This year's wide receiver class is very overrated, in my opinion. Last year's was really good, and still wide receivers were falling. So I don't think any of them should be going extremely high. But
we didn't expect CeeDee Lamb to fall to the Cowboys
that was
last
crazy.
year, and that did happen. So maybe we see something similar this year. Who knows? It's going to be decided on draft day, as all these videos we've been making really have been, because we're in our draft portion of the off season where that's all we talk about, because that's really all that's happening. You know, there's stuff that's happened. Julian Edelman's retired too, but I mean, we talk about that on our podcast. You guys can go check that out on Spotify or anywhere you can find podcasts. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, hit the notification bell, go comment down below your wide receiver rankings, anything you thought about what we said today or about JaMarr Chase. We'd love to have some prospect conversation in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching this video, and with that, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.